biconditional statements. So basically where it's true going forwards and backwards. So the conditional statement is true, but also the converse is true. So when a conditional and its converse are both true, you can combine them to create a biconditional statement. When writing a biconditional statement, drop the if and the then parts of the statement to combine the hypothesis and the conclusion with the phrase if and only if. So between them. So here's our true conditional statement. If two angles have the same measure, then the angles are congruent. But then the converse is if the angles are congruent, then two angles have the same measure. And so to make this a biconditional statement, I'm going to say two angles have the same measure if and only if the angles are congruent. So let's take a look at this here. All right, so if 3 points are collinear, they lie on the same line. So the value of this conditional, so if 3 points are collinear, they lie on the same line. So by definition, collinear means points on the same line. So this is true. And so the converse is also true. Or let's look at the converse really first. So we'll flip-flop those. All right, so converse says if 3 points lie on the same line, then they are collinear. Then, so that is true. So since the conditional statement and the converse are both true, we can make this a biconditional statement. So we'll say 3 points are collinear if and only if they lie on the same line. All right, so here's our biconditional statement. So a number is divisible by 10 if and only if the last digit of the number is a 0. So we're going to make sure that the conditional is true and the converse is true. So we're just making sure we're verifying that we can say if and only if. So the conditional statement would say if a number is divisible by 10, then the last digit of the number is 0. So that's how we would take the biconditional statement and make it just a conditional statement. Okay, and so then the converse to that is going to be if the last digit of a number is 0, then the number is divisible by 10. So the first part, so the conditional statement, if a number is divisible by 10, then the last digit of the number is 0. That is true. And then if the last digit of a number is 0, then the number is divisible by 10. That is also true. So remember, if it's false, we need to be able to come up with some sort of counter example. So that is true. So biconditional statements take the converse and the conditional statement, and if those are both true, then you have a biconditional statement there. And so that's whenever we can take the if and the then part out, and we put the hypothesis and the conclusion together, and we write if and only if in the middle. That's biconditional statements.